Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Kris's Corner. I'm your host, Kris Karcher. This edition will be dealing with WWE NXT on the Tuesday, the 27th of April. All right, let's just jump right into it. NXT starts off the show with, let's just run down the matches here. Christian and Heath Slater versus Chris Jericho and Wade Barrett. Pretty decent match, you know. I mean, NXT, you can't really expect that good of matches, being that they only have an hour and they do a lot of things in that show. They do they normally have, 3 matches. Then they do the Raw recap. They do, the SmackDown thing. So they do a bunch of video packages. They always have like the pros talking about the guys, and then they do their stupid non-wrestling related challenge. We'll get into that later. So you can't expect too much in terms of length from these matches, but we can still judge them anyway. I give that about 2 out of 5 stars, just because my man Jericho was in there. Wade Barrett, probably one of the best rookies so far in terms of performance. Daniel Bryan's the best in terms of potential, but Wade Barrett definitely in terms of performance. Jericho and Barrett go over Christian and Slater. Jericho hit a code breaker on Slater to win it, so it's kind of Jericho's revenge from last year when Slater went over Jericho, which was kind of a major deal. So moving on, Michael Tarver versus Darren Young. This match was kind of alright. The strange thing and most important, I guess, news out of this match was Luke Gallows came in and interfered, but actually to help out Darren Young as opposed to last week when he tried to get him to lose and it backfired. He actually helped him out this match. Darren Young picks up the win over Tarver, who's still struggling. I think Tarver will be the first eliminated when the first elimination comes up. It's got to be between him and Skip Sheffield. Speaking of Skip Sheffield, the main event was scheduled for Skip Sheffield versus The Miz. Miz came out with a gigantic bruise from last night or from Raw when Big Show gave him the punch to the jaw there. His whole face was swollen up. He said before the match, it's real difficult to talk, and he's not going to perform tonight. Daniel Bryan will be performing in his place. So it was Bryan versus Sheffield. Real quick match, not that good. Give it maybe a 1 out of 5. Bryan loses again. Just really disappointing that they're doing this to Daniel Bryan, totally wasting all his potential. I don't care about how he does in those stupid activities, but as long as they don't mess with his actual matches, because, to a guy like Daniel Bryan who actually prides himself on his ring work, it's just insulting to have him, lose in 2.5 minute matches to a guy like Skip Sheffield. It's just kind of ridiculous. So that's about it for the matches. The ridiculous rookie challenge this week, another stupid one, non-wrestling related. So far they've had a keg carrying competition where they carry kegs. Pretty much pointless. I don't see what that has to do with wrestling. They had a talk the talk challenge, which I guess you could test charisma there. That's the only one that the least makes a little bit of sense. They had an American Gladiator thing with the gigantic Q-tips. Pretty gay. And then this week was marketability. They had each of the next NXT rookies take a bag of programs and go out into the audience and see how many they could sell at $15. The winner gets a match with a pro next week on NXT. The winner was David Otunga, sold like $300 or something like that. Pretty much, Otunga got little kids to sell it for him, saying that celebrities need assistance to sell things. Daniel Bryan gave out all of his for free, tossed them out into the crowd, said he's not a capitalist or something like that. So he lost, got 0. The other people that did pretty good, Justin Gabriel did pretty good. He sold a lot. I thought he was going to win. It looked like he sold more than Otunga, but I'm not sure if it was if it was a fixed thing or not, if they really did that. Sheffield pretty much just yelled at everyone. Tarver refused to sell them, and Wade Barrett took the money that was allotted for change, stuck it in his pocket, and said he's keeping it and walked away. So pretty ridiculous. The announce team, again, was pretty much the same. Cole ripping on Daniel Bryan for losing the match, but then saying when Wade Barrett, sold 0 and just took the cash, he pretty much didn't, he said, oh, I like that, blah, 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 which kind of, same thing, they both sold 0, so he's a little bit contradicting himself there with his opinions. But I get it. It's to make, the broadcast controversial, which I actually like. Cole is pretty much a douche nozzle, but I kind of like when they have like the conflict there with Josh Matthews and Cole. It gets a little annoying at times, but I understand. So overall, NXT pretty decent. You had best wrestler in the world on the show, so you can't go wrong, Chris Jericho. But again, in the main event, you put Sheffield over Daniel Bryan, so not so good. I'd say out of 10, I'd give NXT maybe a 5. It should get more interesting as people actually get eliminated. We'll see. Hopefully, Tarver get eliminated during the next elimination, which I can't remember if it's either next week or not the week or the week after that. I have to look it up, but that's about it for Chris's Corner WWE NXT edition. I should do this. I'll probably be doing a short little video for every show and pay-per-view, just like a little rundown and recap. I don't have any partner with me today to discuss it with, so I'm all by myself. That's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Later.